All right, we're gonna give a little tour of the Indy van. People always in the comments are like, what do you guys got in the van? People always want to check out the van, take a look in. Tools, supplies, miscellaneous shit in there. We'll start with the inside of the van. All right, so it's a 2016 Ford Transit. Some people like the older vans. And those are cool, that's what we used to have. I think they like that style because the side window opens up in those, and that's always where the main weed smoker usually sits, is like right there, and he can crack the window. That's the only problem with this van. The windows in the back don't open up. Other than that, it's a fucking rad van. It's a powerhouse. They bought the van, I think it had 35 or 40,000 miles on it, and now it's got 127,000 miles. I've driven this thing to the East Coast multiple times, up to the Northwest, Southwest. Been on a lot of trips. Knock on wood, we got a paint stir stick. Never got a flat tire, never been pulled over. Van's never broke down, never been in an accident. Van's been running good, man. It's been treating us right on all the trips. It's got to be on a lot more trips, especially in the next couple of years. Basically, you keep the oil changed every 3,000 to 5,000 miles. Keep an eye on the brakes because you usually have a lot of people in here and there's a lot of equipment. So that's the last thing you want to go wrong, is the brakes to go out on a trip. I keep it clean because I'm kind of a clean freak, so I treat it like my own personal vehicle, even though it's Indy's. Some trips, it's kind of like the last day you look at it and it's like, holy shit, it looks like a fucking tornado went through. Then you pull the mats out, give it a good vacuum, dust off the dashboard, throw the empties out, all the trash, and it's back to normal. This plush toy, Mark Gonzalez made this. It's called Mr. Hanger. He's been on the dashboard since we got the van, since that toy came out, probably 2016, 2017. I'd say it's kind of a good luck piece. What else we got in here? This right here. When Kowski found that, we were skating a pool where we had a Bronson ad doing an andract in between like the ladder and the deep end. The house was vacant. Getting in the van, there was a bunch of shit outside, and Eric just kind of started rifling through some shoe boxes, and he found all these old photos. And then there's a photo of a goat that he put underneath, just for backup. We got a $50 peso that I won off of Karen Woolley, because the fucker's always late. I always like bet him $50 he's not going to show up on time. He ends up paying in American cash, but the first time he's like, I got your $50 right here, and 50 pesos, which is probably equivalent to like $3 or $4. He's getting better because he doesn't want to keep losing $50. What else we got? We got some snacks. Oh, we got a speed gun, radar gun. You never know when somebody's got to bomb a hill, or if you're like at the tick ditch or something, you just want to see how fast somebody's going. I think everyone should have one of these. I always have plenty of gloves in the van, GT gloves that we just gave out to team riders. These are great, grippy. We got some artwork from New York skateboarder Jeremy Henderson. He gave me this when we were at San Pedro a couple weeks ago. Hasn't made it into the house yet. Thanks, Jeremy. I'm gonna hang this in the house. Oh, always gotta have a cooler in the van. And we get hooked up by Igloo coolers. We got speakers in this one. It's pretty rad, Bluetooth. See what's in there. We got some koozies. Oh, we got some Coors Lights. These are for the filmers. Filmers always need to stay hydrated. I'll take a LaCroix. All right, keeps your drinks cold. Crank the tunes. Battery lasts, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 hours. This thing's always a must to have on a sesh. Let me see what we got in the glove box. We got bushings. Never know when somebody needs some new bushings in their trucks. Registration and all that stuff. Try to keep the glove box kind of clean. We got another speaker, just in case. Miscellaneous wax bag. Skaters always need wax. They always lose wax. They always leave wax at the spot. Break them up into little pieces. That way, big piece won't get left. Indy genuine parts kit. These things are great. They come with bearings, bushings, hardware, axle nuts, kingpin nuts, all the stuff you need on a session. If something falls apart, falls off. We got some reading material over here. Balanced skate mag, Joey P out of Philly, P-Stone on the cover. Got a stress ball. Whoever's sitting shotgun who gets stressed out over my driving or life, they can. Got floss, dude. You never know when you need floss on a session. Long days, you don't have a toothbrush. And we got an M80. Should we just light it off in the van? This M80 came from Mike Santa Fe. Fuck yeah, Santa Fe. He's saying this came from Tijuana. I've heard these things go off. Everyone's different, and they're pretty fucking loud. Never know when you need a golf ball. If found, return to Slappy's garage. We got some off bug spray from recent trip. Air freshener. All right, over on the driver's side here, I got my little stash spot under here. We got sticker packs. We got Indy. We got Bronson. If you don't ride Bronson, fuck you. We got some Tony Hawk Independent stickers. Stick 'em places. Team riders setting up boards always need stickers. Give them to kids. Kids love them. We got a liability waiver and release of liability form. These always come in handy when you're trying to skate a spot where the owner of the property's like, oh, no, we don't have insurance for that, blah, blah, blah. You bust these waivers out. They take their guard down. They're like, oh, these dudes are professional. Get them to sign. Spot's on. Always good to have those in the van. You always got to keep a fresh pair of socks in the van. Sota gave me these beer socks. These are from Japan. Oh, we got some more zines. Balance, Joey P. He always hooks up the zines. We got Lance on the cover from Ramona. And then we got Six Stair, Rick Charnosky, Backside Air, and a LA Pool. The zines are rad. You always got to have some wet wipes. You never know if someone's having a blowout or, you know, you get Bondo on your hands or concrete or got to wipe down the steering wheel. Who knows? Whatever, but these are great. In here we got hardware, independent, genuine parts hardware. Team dudes are always setting up new boards, so it's always good to change out your hardware so they don't become loose. We got more hygienes. Oh, shit. Fireball still floating around from I don't even know what event. Got a toothbrush, toothpaste. You never know where you're going to end up. Might be overnight or somebody's breath stinks. And you're like, yo, fucking brush your teeth. Here's a fucking brand new toothbrush. You know what I'm saying, Omar? We got a bag of skate stoppers that we cut off on various trips. Look at these things. These like little welded bars. They're pretty heavy. More skate stoppers. These are like kind of you just knock straight off with a hammer. Little stash of these things. Kind of like you want to throw them away, but you don't. They're sitting here in a plastic bag in the van, taking up space, but kind of cool though. Go ahead. We got some dice. People want to lose their money. Look at that. 125, nothing. Banger management, papers. Fools always need rolling papers. Sunblock is always good to have in the van. Some Just Live CBD for when the homies get smoked. They need some CBD to keep them going. We got CDs in the van. I buy these at Swap Meet. We have a CD player in here. Some Skinnerd. Iced tea, dude. You can't miss with that one. What's in here right now? That would be AC/DC. If you don't know. If you want blood. If you want blood, I got wet wipes. What we got down here? We got bearings. You always need bearings. We got Mason Silva's Bronson Pro bearings. We got a case of them right here. Gotta have skate tools, man. These things are like wax, dude. They always get left behind. So we got a stack of these Indy T-tools. That's why you gotta keep the van stocked, man. It's almost like a full-time job. We got a flip phone, the burner phone. It only accepts calls from Wes Kramer. He can only call this phone. It's kind of like the bat phone. Wes only calls this phone if he like really needs you. If he needs to get picked up or something. Keep this under the seat. We got a Theragun. Legs are sore or whatever. Who's got a Theragun? Got one right here. Battery's charged. That thing's great to keep the session rolling. And then you always got to have a party bucket. I don't even drink these things, but I always keep them on hand. Kind of hypes up the filmers. You know what I'm saying? These things are cool, $20. They hype up the van, or if you just want an instant party in the van while you're leaving the session, crack open a fucking thing of Fireball. Got a headlamp for the night missions, setting shit up. Or somebody drops a joint in the van, they're trying to find it. We got a light right here. Speaking of lights, so we got this baseball bat, strobe light, flashlight. But if somebody creeps up on you, though, you can stump them up. get them away from the van. We got a Felper, photo of Jake in the mag. I'm not sure who put that in the van, but it's been holding the whole time. People get hyped. They get in the van, they see Phelps, they get fired up. Jake, rest in peace. Skate Mafia is fucking everywhere. Yeah, we got the Hype Club Croc Rip sticker. That's Marius with a Modelo. Marius Savanin. He's been in the van. He's probably slept in the van. We got Dan Liu artwork from the Indy Toy Machine 2021 trip. And then right here, we got G. That would be fucking Braden Hoban. That's his tag. Guaranteed Colin put this It's Us sticker up here. Got some greenery. That's brownery now. We got Motorhead, Bronson. We got Grosso sticker. Anti-Hero, Thrasher, Hellride, P-Stone, Phelps. Sitting in the back of the van on log drives, trying to stay busy, trying to stay off the phone. Oh, we always keep magazines in the van too. We got a little magazine section under here. It's always good to have mags in the van. People get hyped. They start looking through the mags as you're driving to a spot and like, fuck, I want to get in the mag. That's how it works. We got a Wilson graffiti soccer ball. So light. They can definitely like help people warm up. It can be a time burglar. Trying to get the soccer ball from like, let's go skate. I think that's it for the back of the van. So with the propane tank, we got the torch. If somebody wanted to skate a spot and the landing's kind of wet or the roll-up's wet, you can just fire this up real quick and fucking torch it. Great to have during the winter. Kind of fun to fuck around with. Hedge trimmers. So all the tools that I have, they just happen to be DeWalt, because I had like a DeWalt tool with batteries and I started acquiring more tools. So I was like, kind of keep it uniform, you know? So all the batteries work with all the different tools. Chainsaw is not necessarily you need in the van. On occasion, if you really need to cut something down. We use this a lot cleaning out the tick ditch for the death race. Things like, I don't know, 250 bucks maybe, but it works with your batteries. You don't need gas, all you need is chain oil. The leaf blower, if you're lazy and you don't want to sweep, these things can like clean up spots like super easy. Can also help kind of dry up some spots or move some water around, sand. Can't beat, you know, the broom. That thing will never run out of batteries. Shovel always comes in handy. Mixing concrete, there's concrete on there. Shoveling dirt, cleaning ditches. Always need a shovel in the van. Sledgehammers are just fucking badass. Always keep extra boards, some used. Grip tape, mob. These little metal signs are good. If you don't want to Bondo a crack, they're pretty thin. You can kind of put it over the crack, tape it. If you're trying to skate a spot, you know, where you don't have time to Bondo, this is kind of a quick fix. Take up minimal space. My tripod bag. My old tripod bag. What do we got in here? Bolt cutters, kind of mini bolt cutters. We got zip ties. We got in here bungee straps. If you find random shit and you want to put it on the roof of the van. Pliers are always good. Like some schools, instead of cutting the lock, sometimes you can just fuck around with the nuts and bolts that hold the lock contraption. I've gotten into so many spots just like, oh, you could just loosen these and get in without cutting the lock, and then that way the janitors don't get pissed at you. Fire extinguisher. You never know if something's gonna catch on fire. Dustpan to go with the broom. This thing I got years ago from Volcom. It's a grill. It's pretty rad because it's like that thin. It's almost like a little tote bag. We used this thing in LA. We just barbecued up on the street one night with Wes and Gregson and Beckel and all them. Doesn't take up room like a big Weber. When it's done, you just dump the coals out, fold it back up, right in the bag. Never know when you want to barbecue. Toolbox, we got paintbrushes, we got razor blades, steel stick, all sorts of these bits to take off skate stoppers when you don't have to necessarily grind them off or hammer them out. Bondo spreaders. This is all product might need on a session. We got some 215s. You never know if somebody's gonna find that spot on the session or on the trip and they're like, fuck, I wish I had some 215s to grind this thing. Got them right here. OJ wheels, juice bars, skeleton key copers, just in case you happen to find that rough ledge or stucco ledge and you want to grind it or something, or if you just want to put copers on, whatever, got copers. We got a grinder. A lot of weed smokers always in the van, dude. Grinders come in handy. Wheels, we got bearings, base plates, all sorts of miscellaneous bushings. We got shoelaces, more hardware, anything you need. This is kind of the miscellaneous. We got like Indy flannels, Indy work shirt, we got a vest, sweatshirt, orange vest when you're grinding knobs off a rail or bondoing or doing something that you're not supposed to be doing. Or watching traffic in the middle of the road, so you don't want to see the homie get smoked, put this on, cars will usually stop. People will be like, oh, you look official. Then you add the stop sign or the slow sign, and that will really stop a car if somebody's rolling across the street or trying a trick. Ice pack, these things are great. You can fill these up like a 7-Eleven, just dump ice in there, this thing blows up. Instead of, you know, bags where like the water and the ice leak out. Any pharmacy, probably for like 10 bucks or something. This is another thing that's really rad to have, is red safety paint, or safety red, like curb red. Been to so many places where somebody wants to skate a spot, there's always a car parked in front of a business or something, so you go there at night, paint the curb red, and you go back the next day and nobody's gonna park there because they don't want to get a ticket. You know, you see a red curb, you're like, I don't know. Even if it looks kind of sketchy, you're like, it's not worth parking there because you're gonna get a fat ticket. You know, that's what you think, so nobody parks there. We have some Bondo. Bondo lately, maybe since the pandemic, has been harder to get. The price of it's gone up. I found this isn't even Bondo, it's Evercoat body filler. This is like 45 bucks. It works exactly the same as Bondo, it's just an off name. Instead of trying to go through all the Bondo on spots, I've come up with these little batches of mini mix. Me and Wes came up with these names the first day I started fucking around with it. You can either use like Cementol, which is the fine powder, or mortar. And I put it in these containers, and it's like powdery kind of concrete. There's no aggregates in it, no rocks. Instead of wasting money on Bondo, you can buy a 25-pound bag, put them in these things just to keep in the van. You can mix it on the spot with like a little trowel, or even one of these things. You can just mix it, concrete the crack. Instead of water, I use the cement glue. Mortar's good, you know, if you're only going like maybe an inch at the most. Cementol, you can go thicker. It's perfect for cracks. Goes a long way, like a huge bag. This is only probably like a quarter of the bag, so I can get like 4 of these things out of a bag. It dries in 15 minutes, and it dries harder than Bondo. So I'm just trying to find alternate ways to fix cracks that's still just as fast and easy. So we also have clear coat enamel, AKA Salpa sauce. Works great on pool coping, curbs, ledges. It's just a clear gloss that makes something grind better. This kind of goes up into the atmosphere. These cans are like $5-6 bucks. And when you spray it on over wax, it kind of turns into a mush. These do work good if there's no wax on it. The good shit is the low luster concrete sealer. Water-based, so you can use your paintbrush with it. This will go a long way. It dries really fast, it's clear, and then you put a little wax on it after. Anything concrete, this works great on. And even with wax over it, you can still paint it on over the wax and it dries. It's a quick water cleanup for the brush, so you can keep using the brush. This costs probably like 30 or 35 bucks for a gallon, and this will last. You can use this a lot. I always keep a bag of Quikrete just in case you're skating a spot and there's like a big hole. Bondo's too much, the mini mix is like not enough. This has aggregate in it and it dries relatively quick. You dry within an hour if you're doing something kind of deep. And if the spot's like needs more fix, somebody starts working with this and then you run to the hardware store and buy more. Just have a bag on hand, it's always good. So if you have concrete, you gotta have a trowel. We do have rub bricks. Kind of gotta use a lot of elbow grease on these things. They come in handy. I mean, for the price of like 3 of these, you could buy a disc that'll last a lot longer than these things. This one's already like cracked. These are cool though for quick little fixes, grinding down rough spots. Another trowel, small trowel. Wood screws. I don't know where this came from, but it's kind of gnarly. Weird little fucking knife with a sheath in the back. We left this in the van. Hit me up, I'll send it back to you. It's got a purple handle. Trash bags. Good to have trash bags if you're, I don't know, making a mess. It's always good to clean up your shit. In this bag, there's just a lot of miscellaneous tie downs. Tying down stuff that on top of the van, or if you have to pull a fence back. It's always good just to have a lot of shit. If you're at a spot and someone's like, oh, you got tie downs? It's like, oh no, we don't. And then you probably never come back. Or you go try to find a hardware store to go buy them, and that takes a while. The more shit you have in the van saves you time. So this is the light kit, pretty compact. So we got extra light bulbs. And then we got the Lowell Toda lights. They've definitely been banged up, but they work great. Power strip and 3 tripods for the lights. With the lights, you need the cords, a splitter, and a generator. The Honda generator, this is a 2,000 watt EU generator. Holds about a gallon of gas. Pretty low maintenance. With a gallon of gas, this thing will run a couple hours. The bulbs are usually like 400 or 600 watts. So if you have 600 watt lights in here, you have 3 lights, that's 1,800 watts. That will contain the output from the lights to light up a spot. Yeah, it's pretty easy. These kits, maybe 400 bucks. The lights, the tripods. This generator you can get, I think, Harbor Freight or something. They make their own. It's not as good as a Honda. It's a 2,000 watt generator that looks almost like the Honda. And I've seen those for like 500-600 bucks. So if you and your homies go in on a kit for under 1,000 bucks, you can get a pretty rad setup that'll last. We got self-cut out pool drain cover. If you got a pool skating crew, just a little sign's always good to have so no one gets smoked on the drain. We got another bag that I keep a lot of miscellaneous shit in, like a hammer, grip tape for sanding down Bondo, plenty of gloves, you know, if you get to those spots, bushes with spikes and shit or whatever, you know, and I got some safety goggles when you're grinding shit off or going fast, I don't know, fuck. But definitely grinding shit off, you want to protect your eyeballs. We got a mallet. This thing works great for the skate stoppers that aren't welded on. You can just pop them off. And then if you have a mini crowbar, you can get under there, give it a good one and pop it off that way. These were the metal shears that I was talking about. Cut the sheet metal with. So I just kind of rounded out the edge. But these come in handy for chain link fences if you got to get into a spot or out of a spot or, you know, move the fence back. These are great. I bought this at an Army supply store. Cut branches off, bushes. This thing was like 10 or 15 bucks. These things are great, really sharp. What is this? God damn it, Omar left his fucking Rockstar fucking umbrella in here, dude. Omar, come and get that. The one thing I'm definitely missing, we just ran out of the other day and I haven't got a new bag, is cat litter. Cat litter is also a great way to dry up a spot that's damp. Not really wet, because you don't want to put cat litter on a lot of water. You want to get as much water off it as possible. Sprinkle cat litter on it, kind of spread it around, and the cat litter absorbs the wetness and it'll dry up a spot really fast. We have these 2 tool bags. Still DeWalt stuff, some N95 masks. Concrete dust is gnarly. These things cost probably 15 bucks for a 2-pack or a 3-pack. They will save your lungs. You don't want to fuck with your lungs. Another set of goggles. These are better than the other glasses that I had. No sparks can kind of get in. You want to protect your eyes. We have a drill. These are good for the various drill bits to take off some of the skate stoppers. They're also good to use with the wood screws, and also people use it to set up their boards. So a power drill is mandatory. We have 2 different grinders. We have one that's battery operated, and we have one that has a cord. So if you're taking off a lot of knobs, you're blasting through batteries, You have this as a backup. You just need to fire up the generator, run an extension cord. This thing will go all night. So it's always good to have a backup corded one and a cordless one to get in and out quick where you don't have to carry a generator in. We have a Sawzall. So these are great for cutting kinks off of rails. There's two different kind of blades that I use. So you can use this to cut 2x4s, sheets of plywood, quick cuts, you know, just if you're building a run up or something. You can also use this to cut branches off of trees and bushes. The other blade is a metal blade. This will cut kinks off of rails, help get knobs off, cut any sort of metal, chains, locks, metal blade and a wood blade. 4 batteries to go with the tools. You gotta keep these things charged or else they're useless. Takes a little while to charge these, but they're great. This is kind of like the old tool, rub brick. You sit there and you like try to grind down some concrete or a rough spot. This takes place of the rub brick if you have a grinder. This diamond blade concrete disc will grind down any sort of rough concrete surface in a matter of seconds. Like you could do a whole 15-foot curb. If it was rough, you could get it smooth. It creates a lot of dust. That's where you need the N95 masks and the goggles to keep out of your eyes and your lungs. These things are like $40. They last for a while. We also have a flap disc. After you like grind off a knob using these metal discs, this one's a little thicker for grinding. This one's thin to get up underneath the welds and start chipping it away. This thing will smooth down all the rough areas that you didn't grind down yet. We have another broom. Can never have enough brooms. So on top of the van on the racks, we have 2 long sheets of wood just in case somebody needs run up for a spot. Put them downstairs, cross grass or whatever, just so you get a little more speed to the spot you're skating. Back here we have some extra pieces of wood and signs. You can just acquire these things wherever, road closed, no parking. They take up minimal space because they're so thin. More sheets of wood. Then we have the curb ramp. This thing's a beast. Goes up to a curb perfect. Instead of ollieing up the curb to get to a handrail or a gap, this thing just gives you like a nice smooth ride. The last thing in the van is the motherfucking bungee, the Banshee bungee that they don't make anymore because I think some kids got killed using them. I found this one on Craigslist. It's a 20-foot cord. The last person to use it was Zane Timpson. First person to use it, last person to use it. It's also kind of a bitch too because you really got to tie it down to an obstacle. You have to have at least 2 solid homies to pull it back for you. You might be trying the trick for an hour and these dudes are like locked in to pulling the thing back consistently every time, and it's a bitch, but one person can't really do it. You need 2. You don't use them on the day-to-day, but if you come to that spot and it's a tight spot, you can't get a motorcycle in, you can't get towed by a car, you have a bungee. And these things are hard to find these days. So when we got the van, it had another row of seats that went to the back here. You couldn't put any luggage in or anything, so we took those seats out. I think Gavin and Josh Borden built this in Long Beach. Probably the best addition to the van. I've been on trips in vans where they don't have this, and you get to a spot and everyone's trying to find their board, trying to find this, trying to find that. Keeps everything organized. Even if you have like an SUV, you can build one of these little ones in the back just to help organize all your shit. All right, so we have this rack. This is where we keep the wood. We have it strapped down. We have a ladder. Before we had the rack, the first hell bomb in Long Beach, it was parked where you bomb the hill. Started to get kind of crowded. Somebody was like, hey, can we get up on the van? People are just on top of the van, like drinking, watching everything go down. It's not their van. They don't give a fuck. Roof of the van got dented. Where people are standing over the passenger seat and the driver's seat, and it kind of caved it in. And where it kind of caved in, you start to see rust spots. It's starting to leak a little bit. A couple months ago, I got up here and started grinding it down, getting rid of all the rust, and I like bondoed the roof. And it's kind of holding, but it still has like a little leak when it rains, but we have to get that fixed. I don't know, don't let people stand on your roof. It'll fuck it up. Other than that, the van looks great until you look at it from up top.